You're listening to the Precision Shooting Podcast, discussing all aspects of precision and long-range rifle shooting. This episode is brought to you by Impact Dynamics, advanced training for the precision shooter. And now, over to your hosts.
Well, hello and welcome to the Precision Shooting Podcast. My name is Rusty, and we are in, what would you call this special, Greg?
I'd call it Wisconsin.
We're in Wisconsin, and I have a whole stack of people around a table at a brewery with me. To my right is Special Greg, who you would have heard before.
G'day guys, how you doing?
And over there is Mark, who has been on the podcast once before while he was driving, and I guess also some other episodes, yeah?
Howdy, fellas.
And with us as well is Steve from Vortex Optics. How you going, Steve?
Hi, g'day. I'm actually American, so I don't know what that means, but hey, hi everybody.
No, you've done it really well. G'day.
Yeah, no,
yep,
you've done well. And then as well joining us is one of our listeners that contacted us and came down for a beer. How are you, Branden?
We're doing fantastic and can't wait to have a couple more beers.
Yeah, it's sounding very good. Now, you've been out shooting this morning, Branden.
I have.
Yeah, how did that go? Tell us about it.
2 coyotes down and 1 fox and 1 crow. It was a pretty decent morning.
Yeah,
Very
sensational. Nice. Very good. And what we use and do that, we have to ask all the important questions.
Well, I've got a Defiance 6.5 Creedmoor with a Brux barrel.
Yep.
XLR Element chassis. Harris 6.9 swivel bipod and a Razor HD Gen 2.
That is that's a pretty solid scope choice.
That's a mighty fine scope, boy.
No bias at all.
Says the guy from Vortex.
Yeah,
No, never.
Fair call. Oh, very good. So we are in chilly Wisconsin, although I'm told it's quite warm at the moment.
Yeah, apparently this is we've entered the warmest winter.
Yeah, it's about 4 degrees or something for.
It's actually
for
pretty
Celsius.
nice, like just barely sweater weather. I mean, I'm about ready to get into t-shirt and sandals here, so
Yeah, I suppose if you
had a beach, you'd be on it.
on it all day.
Yeah.
It's perfect tanning. You get really even light when it's overcast like
Yep.
this.
So what have we spent today doing, Greg?
well, we've done a little
Special Greg, sorry.
Yeah.
I need to get the names right.
You're right, Special Greg.
Everyone will confuse you with Cashco.
Nah, you can't confuse me with Cashco.
It's Greg's new name, by the way.
Obviously, because my bank account doesn't quite, allow me for 10 Defiance actions. Actually, bringing that up, how did you manage to get that Defiance action there, Branden? I mean, when I went there, they were apparently sold out from some Australian jerk.
Oh, they've got about a 10-month lead time on them from what I've come to find, and I had a friend of mine calling every favor in the book.
So you bought one off Greg?
So you did buy one off Badco.
Yeah, that's the guy. I believe that is the name.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have only been like 2 weeks.
Yeah, Badco's like the scalper. Like he buys all the Defiance actions and then sells them back at double the price.
Is that what he's doing? That's why he has so much money.
He's like the Defiance action scalper.
Yeah,
I will say it's a work of art once I did end up getting it, though.
Yeah, very good. And how's it go? It shoots well. We had a chance to play with some the other day.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's extremely smooth and it's beautiful, and the rifle setup does exactly what I need it to.
So this is what I like, was we can come over here and with guys who are in the same sort of type of shooting, we can ask your equipment and everything you just said we can get as well back home, which is wonderful because it's so common you see the stuff over in the States.
We can't get Defiance actions. We've discussed this. Thanks, Cashco.
Greg can get the Defiance actions, but it's kind of cool how that ability to relate equipment-wise, because we see so much stuff over here that we haven't got a chance of getting, unless you had a silencer on it.
I don't.
Ah, there we go.
You need to.
It's
No, you
canless.
got me beat there.
Yeah.
If you're not suppressed, you're doing it wrong.
I am doing it wrong. I made a lot of noise and scared the second one off after the
We've
first
got a whole
shot.
country doing it wrong then.
Yeah, our entire country's apparently doing it wrong then, Steve. Don't offend us.
It's, everybody in the States says that we need to have European gun laws, all these anti-gun people over here. But in Europe, you can go into a store and buy a moderator. They call them moderators, not suppressors.
Yep.
And you can buy those for $50-$60, walk out of the store with it same day like you're buying a candy bar. So I am down with adopting European gun laws.
Thank you, aunties. We go with you. We'll take the European gun laws.
If you guys would only research and figure out what you're talking about.
No. Don't educate them.
No,
Keep them
never,
stupid.
never.
Seem to do a pretty good job of that themselves. So, Steve, how long have you been with Vortex Optics?
I've been with Vortex a little over 3 years now, and been in the gun industry pretty much my whole life.
Yeah, right. So what have you done prior to Vortex then?
I kind of started out when I was just a baby Steve. Joined the military when I was really young.
Baby
and
Steve.
Baby
So
Steve.
young and omnipotent.
I still
So
grow
like your
facial
beard.
hair like I did when I was 6. Yeah,
So like your
just like my
beard.
little baby beer.
I like to think of my Steve as like a little baby Steve, real young and
Fresh.
fresh.
That's how I make friends. Everybody's so cute. They mistake me for a woman all the time because of my my wonderfully
You're
smooth
what, Steve?
facial
Yeah,
skin.
yeah, Steve. Finish your sentence, Steve. What?
Steve hasn't got much of a beard. That's what we're saying.
I don't know. No, I don't. My daughter grows a thicker beard than I do, and she's 9. But yeah, no, I was in the military before that, and once I got out of the military, I ended up retiring out a couple of years ago and ran a gun department at a farm and ranch supply store in middle of nowhere, Montana for a little bit, and
Wow.
had a good time there. Then
Sounds
ended
good.
up as a buyer for a sporting goods chain out of Montana,
Okay.
and now I am the director of military law enforcement sales for Vortex Optics. So it's been a
Straight to the top.
yeah. It was that ladder that I was climbing. I skipped like
Many
6
rungs.
dozen rungs. Yeah,
many
And
rungs. And,
Yeah.
and how do you find it there at Vortex?
Fantastic. I've never worked for a company that has even been close to what Vortex is. It's still very much a family-owned. It feels like a small company, even though we're not.
Yeah, you guys are big. You were telling us before you had, in the last 2 years, you've seen significant growth.
Yeah, when I first started there, we had 120 employees, and now today we're close to 300 employees. We're building new dedicated manufacturing facility about 20 minutes west of where we are now. So it's just been the
Yeah,
growth that we've shown and the growth that we've had in the last couple of years has been absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we got a good tour, thanks to Steve, around Vortex today. And yeah, tell you what, they need more room. You guys are packed in there pretty well.
We're
It's
packed
coming.
in pretty tight. We got to shoehorn in. When people are checking in, we actually have to call everybody up and make room for everybody coming in, showing up for work, running the machines.
It's coming, but the new factory's going to be pretty impressive, yeah?
Huge. Yeah, it's gonna almost quadruple the size that we've got now,
Wow.
and then we've got 2 big buildings. We're gonna have a building dedicated specifically to engineering and manufacturing, and we're also talking about putting in a range out there. So it'll be one of the most advanced indoor range complexes in the Midwest, if not in the United States. So it'll be pretty slick.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Might have to come back to use that.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have some cool stuff. We'll be able to drive cars in on the range, so I'll set up some pretty slick AR shooting stuff, suppressed little short full auto stuff that you guys can't get a hold of.
Yeah, all the stuff we can go home feeling terrible. Yeah, thanks.
I think what's more impressive is that you've got your own road named after you now. You'll be on Vortex
We do.
Drive.
We are buildings number 1, 2, and 3 on Vortex Drive.
That's how you know you've made it.
What about the rest of it though? What about the rest of the road? If you only 1, 2, and 3.
They're on Vortex Drive. You know,
Yeah, okay, all right.
that's-
Every other building on Vortex Drive
You
is just
invited
going to
no-
be an extension of us.
I know in Australia that I reckon it's one of the companies is on the old road that a previous company used to use, and so I think it's something like, I'll get the actual names wrong, but it's something like Beretta on Remington Drive or something along those lines.
That's perfect.
It's a great move. So you're leaving a legacy there. So if another optics company starts up in Wisconsin,
Yeah, maybe like Loophole and Night Force will move in like 20, 30 years. Once we outgrow that building, be like, oh, those
Here you
chumps
go.
on Vortex 1? Yeah, no.
Here you go, Leopold. You can have our old scraps.
oh dear. Well, that would be good. So this is we've been here for not 24 hours yet, probably 16 or 18 hours, and it is well, I like it. I prefer this place to Vegas myself.
100%.
Not really a big city bloke, and this place feels a lot more sort of just chilled out and relaxed. Which
Food's better. The
although
beer's better.
I have to say, we got pretty used to Vegas. We got in last night. We probably pulled into the hotel about 11:30, and we're like, talking in the elevator on the way out. We're like, yeah, cool. We'll just dump our bags and stuff, and then we'll go for a beer. We checked in with the guy down the bottom, and he said, yeah, nothing's open, mate. Nothing's open.
Monday night, mate. Nothing's open.
Monday night, 11 o'clock, no. So I think we did get a bit used to Vegas and how they roll.